What did your parents do for a living?
Um, my dad, he like he do a lot of different stuff. He he owns a barbershop and he does HVAC and he has the 18-wheeler like trucking. And my mama, she uh billing and coding, medical billing and coding.
Did they want you to follow their footsteps or fields as you grew up?
Mm, I don't know. Well, yeah, my daddy and my mama both wanted me to go to like medical school. I wanted to do that at first, but the older I got, the more I realized that's not what I wanted to do.
Why not?
I just didn't want to go to college that long. Like, my mama was so hard on me in school, it just made me not want to go to college.
What was their reaction when you didn't go that route?
Um, Me and my dad fell out, but my mom was still supportive of me because she knew that, like, I could still be successful because, like, I was just wanting to, like, model, take pictures, dress up, get cute. So my mama just supported it.
Did you and your father ever repair that relationship after the fallout?
Not really. Like, we're cordial.
Now, in the American society, financially, how would you describe your upbringing?
I don't want to say I was poor because, like, I got everything that I wanted and needed. I had iPhones, I had Jordans, stuff like that, shoes, clothes. Like, we stayed in the hood, but I still, you know.
Was your household able to move up to a higher income group at some point as you grew up? Did things get better financially for?
Yeah, but it's just like my family from the hood, so they just like staying in the hood. Like, I don't know, like some of my family members, like, they move like to the, nice neighborhoods and stuff, but we just, some of us just stayed and in the hood.
And did you seek making money or earning money early in life?
Yes, my uncles, like, seeing my family, yeah, that made me want to get money. Like, growing up, I always had money. Like, I always found a way to get money. I was always smart, so I used to do people work,
Like what?
anything. I used to write their essays. I used to do E2020. That's like people who failed the course and they got to take it online. I used to do that. I used to do E2020. I used to take people tests for them.
So you'd help them cheat.
Yeah, and they'll pay me. Like, I used to make so much money. Like, so much money. I used to make more money in school than I made from my actual job just for doing people work because they knew I was smart. All the boys came to me and I did their work. Like, athletes, the bad kids that fight and stuff like that.
Was this just word of mouth back then? Or was this something you were advertising some sort of way?
I mean, I wasn't advertising. It's just like everybody knew. And they knew I was going to say yeah, and they knew I was going to get it done fast because it was easy to me. Basically, I did a lot of traditional kids work. I didn't take traditional classes, so it was a lot of kids that was like in traditional classes, so their work was so easy to me.
Go ahead.
It was just so easy to me. I did it so fast.
Did anyone higher up catch on to this outside, higher than classmates, students?
I want to say in my school, the teachers ain't really care. Like, they knew that them kids weren't doing it, so like, my school was like in the hood. I went to McKinley, so it's like really in the middle of the hood, in a dead end. So them teachers, they really didn't care. They want to see those children get out of there, graduate and stuff. Like, They want to see them make it out. So they didn't really trip. As long as they didn't see it in their face.
And this was high school?
High school.
When you graduated high school, did you continue to do this for others, or did it stop when you left?
Well, when I slowed down on it, like, towards the end of my 12th grade year because, like, I used to get out of school at, like, 10 o'clock in the morning, at 10 in the morning, so I started being busy. Like, that's when I was in a relationship, and my boyfriend, like, my last relationship, I started traveling and stuff with him, and I just stopped doing it a lot.
And this is your child's father?
Yeah. I started, like, traveling and stuff, going out of town, and I just fell in love with going out of town and traveling that I just didn't have time, or I just didn't even want to do it. I didn't want to do no work.
How did you two meet?
We met through Instagram. We met through social media, but I saw him. I didn't know who he was. I saw him, like, we had this thing down south of Louisiana called Bayou Classic, and it's real big, and everybody go. It's in New Orleans, and I saw him at Bayou Classic. I remember seeing him that weekend, and then that Monday, when I came home from Bayou Classic, I just checked my social media, and he was in my request.
A direct message?
Yeah, he was in my DM.
Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
And you were in high school at the time?
Yes, I was in 12th grade.
What about him?
He was out of high school. He wasn't in school.
What do you remember? What age you were? What age he was?
I was 17 when I started dating him, and I want to say Jay was like 19. Jay was 19.
And he never attended that same high school as you?
No, we actually from two different cities. I'm from Baton Rouge. He from Bogalusa. It's like an hour and 15 minutes away.
And even though you did this schoolwork hustle, ever had a job?
Yes, I had my first job when I turned 16 at Raising Cane's.
And how long did that last for?
A couple months. I hated it.
And were you doing the schoolwork hustle after that job or while that job was going on?
While it was going on. Like, I make my money doing my school stuff, then my checks would be from Cane's.
Was that part of the reason why you left?
I got fired.
For what?
On my day off. Because, like, I just didn't like that job. It was, it wasn't boring. You just had to do too much. Like, I never in my life, that was my first and last job, so I don't know if other fast food restaurants do the stuff that Cane's did, but it was just so much, and it was just too much, and I just felt like I was doing too much and not getting paid enough.
How were you introduced to that job?
Well, like, back in the day, it used to be like, that's somewhere like everybody wanted to work, and it was like hard to work there. Like, it wasn't just easy to get a job at Cane's. Like, everybody who filled out an application didn't get hired. So if you got hired at Cane's, like, you know, he felt like it was somebody kind of, like, it was like, that's like a luxury fast food job, like, compared to like McDonald's or Burger King or something.
How'd you get it?
I don't know, it's so crazy because me and my friend both put in an application. I put in an application the day of my birthday, the day I turned 16. Like, I just always used to love making money. So I wanted a job, and the day I turned 16, I put in the application, and I got an interview. They called both of me and my friends, and we both had an interview the same day, but I ended up getting a call back, and she didn't.
Did that cause a rift between you two?
No, but I feel like she did feel some type of way. I feel like she feel like they was like discriminating against her, but I don't know. I don't know how I got the job.
And what was your position at that job?
I was a crew member.
What were your duties?
See, that's why you're supposed to read everything before put in the application. But what I did was I worked the register. I either be in the front or I'll be in the back in the hole. It's called the hole, accepting money. Like I never like took orders through the drive-through, but I took orders in the front of the store. That's the most.
And I can't remember if you said this already, and if you did, I apologize, but I'm jotting down notes as you talk, and I've lost some stuff, but how long did you say you were working there before you got fired?
I want to say I started in August, and it ended in January. Not long.
And when it came to that job, was it tough?
Yes. Because it's so much you have to learn. Like, when you first get hired, you don't automatically just, start doing hands-on stuff. You have to actually, like, go and learn all kind of stuff about canes, the history, what does canes means. Because at that job, you have, like, a mystery shopper, and they'll come in there, and they'll just ask you, like, stuff that you have to know, that you're supposed to learn and take tests on in order to work there. So it's like once you get hired, you have to take all types of tests of stuff that you learned off of iPad in order to start like actually working on the register or doing anything.
Was that job dangerous at all?
Not really. Kinda was, because it was robbed before, but it wasn't dangerous to me because we always had a police on the premises.
You weren't there when it got robbed?
I wasn't there.
You were working?
I think, yeah.
When it got robbed, you just weren't on the clock that particular day?
Yeah, I wasn't on the clock that particular day.
When you found out about that, did that worry you at all?
Nah. That's just how much I didn't care about that job.
What was the best thing about that job, if any?
The 50% off on the food. And, I'm not gonna lie, we used to have potlucks and stuff. Like, the crew, the people who worked there were actually fun, and certain managers, was fun. It was a lot of high schoolers, so it's, different people that's from high school and, in college, and y'all all worked there, so it was fun. That's, the best part. And the food, being, $2 for a box combo and stuff like that. Cheap food.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, what was the worst thing about that job?
The cleaning. Working at Cane's, they're big, real big on, sanitation. So, every day you have to pull all the machines, the equipment, everything from the wall and scrub and mop the floors until everything is clean, spotless. And the prepping, you have to pump the cane sauce by hand, big buckets of it, and you make the coleslaw by hand too. So that was the hard part, the worst part. The coleslaw, it stinks and it's messy. That's the hardest part.
Any crazy stories with that job? Anything that happened out of the norm, other than what we talked about thus far?
No. Well, I feel like this was out of the norm. For me, I had 100. I want to say they were Mexicans. It was 100 of them literally coming there, and none of them spoke English. And I had to try to take all their orders. None of them spoke English. They didn't know nothing.
Were you able to still get them what they wanted at the end of it?
Actually, what I did was I counted how many people it was, and I divided it. So I rung up a couple box combos, a couple three fingers, and a couple candy eggs, and I just was passing it out, and people just grabbed whatever. They just grabbed. So yeah, that's how I did that, because that was stressful.
They were okay with that service, though.
Yeah, they were just, they saw, and wherever they saw, I guess, however many chicken strips they saw they wanted, they just got it and just picked it up.
Did they take it to go, or did they actually remain in the restaurant? And
They stayed in there, and it was just crazy. It was wild. It was chaotic.
customers ever hit on you?
Like, tried to talk to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
Did it work?
Mm-mm. No. No.
Did you ever date a customer?
No. I was never the type to give my number out.
What about coworkers?
I had a coworker that liked me, but we'll talk like on Snapchat, but it was never like text because I didn't like him back, but he was nice. He was sweet.
Did management know about it? Did other coworkers know about it?
Yeah, they knew that he had a crush on me. Like, that's what I liked about Canes. It was like a high school atmosphere. Like, our managers was kind of young, so they was like cool. So it was really like the general manager that nobody liked. That's who fired me.
And what was the reason for the firing one more time?
Because I didn't come to work, and she was like, don't return without a legitimate excuse. And I'm like, okay. So that's nothing to get an excuse to go back to work. So then she texted me back like a couple hours later and was like, thank you for your service here. We don't know, we no longer need you here. So she tried to fire me through a text message, and yeah, that didn't work like that. I got fired, but I went the next day to work and quit. My mom made me.
No warning?
No warning, because my mama told me, like, you cannot fire nobody through a text message. So my mama, she told me, like, after school, bring your uniform to school, and, I'm going to bring you to work, and you will go quit, and I'm going to wait outside for you. So I just, like, walked in, because I was still in the system. I walked in, I clocked in, and I just clocked in, and she asked me what I was doing here. And she tried to, like, embarrass me in front of people, so I embarrassed her. I walked in, and she was like, what are you doing here? Like, everybody was asking me what I'm doing here, so she must have was, like, telling people that she fired me already. So I just slammed, like, we used to have, like, this little till card that we had to swipe, and I slammed it, and I was like, I quit. And then I went clocked out, and I just walked out.
Did you ever collect that last check?
Yeah, we used to get paid like on the card, so it was direct deposit. It was only like $80. I remember it was like $80.
Did you ever hit on customers?
No. I just feel like that's cheesy for people to try and talk to somebody while they at work in a uniform.
Ever hit on other employees yourself? Coworkers?
No, I wouldn't want to talk to nobody that I work with, like, ew. And back in that time, I wasn't interested in, like, people that work, like, jobs. I like athletes.
What was it about athletes?
I don't know. I like basketball players. I like to see them play. I don't know. Just they look good.
Because you worked at Raising Cane's, are you sick of the food?
No, not at all. I didn't even get sick of it. I feel like me working there made me like it more. Like I ate it every single day. Well, not every single day, but I ate it like at least 2 or 3 times out the week. Whenever I went to work, I ate it.
If you could, would you ever consider owning a Raising Cane's yourself?
No. Only because I don't like how they only sell chicken tenders. Like, I feel like it's so much more you could do with the food they have because we used to do all kind of stuff. Like, we used to make salads, peanut butter and jelly, like on the Texas toast, all kind of stuff. It's so much you could do. And there's so much more they could sell. So, no.